Hey, this is Awesome Arcades. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to set up your new cocktail table when you get it. And so it's going to show up on a pallet. It's going to be shrink wrapped and strapped down. But after you unwrap it, the first thing that you're going to notice, there's going to be a power cord and two keys zip tied to one of the joysticks. Using that key, you're going to go to the coin door on the front of the cabinet here. You're going to open that up. Inside the cabinet, up here, and here there are cookie jar latches. So you're going to reach your hand through the coin door into the belly of the cabinet, up and back towards yourself, and pop those latches on either side. Lift up the lid, you're going to notice these locking mechanisms. When you close the lid, be careful not to force it. All you have to do is guide those, and it'll gently close. I've had some people kind of force it and they'll bow out. So inside, you're going to notice this is your JAMMA harness. And down here is your VGA cable. In addition, I include a touch-up pen, which I hope you don't need, but it's there. And then a little note from my family to yours. It's got our phone number if you have any questions about setup. And so over here is a 60 game board that we bought on Amazon. On the board, you're gonna notice these little light switches. These are called dip switch settings. You're gonna want number one it should be set up like this, but if it's not, number one is in the down position. Number 2 and 3 are in the up position. And then number 4, that's the important one. If you want to make changes to the board, you're going to plug it in and turn up dip switch set number 4. I'll show you that in a second. And so you're going to notice on your harness that you have got a bunch of wires, a space, and then you've got a yellow, red, black. These are your main wires. Those three are going to match up with these three. And so this is the 60 game board. In case you're curious, this is what the 412 board looks like. It's almost the same thing. This one just has a plastic case that it comes with, but this is the same on all JAMMA boards. And so you've got this row of teeth. And so to plug your board in, you simply take this, push that on there, and then plug in your VGA cable. Now, if you bought a machine that has trackballs, inside the cabinet, there's going to be two things like this. They'll be numbered, number 3 and number 4. If you look at the board, you'll see these two things. You're just going to take this. Let's see, I think I got it backwards there. And you slide that down like that. That's how you plug in your trackball. If you're curious on the 412 board, you're only going to have one cable. So on the 60, you get 2 of those. For the 412 board, you just get this one, and it plugs in right there. It's like a USB. And then, of course, you plug it in the exact same way with the VGA cable and the harness itself. So now, for this video, I'm going to show you how to enter the setup. So if dip switch setting number 4 is in the down position, then you just turn the machine on and play. If you want to make changes to the board with the machine off, you put dip switch 4 up, and then you take your power cord, plug it in down here, turn it on. Now while it's loading up, you're going to see a green light. That's good. If it's red, that means there's something wrong with the board. If it's yellow, it just means it's thinking. And so if for some reason it doesn't work, you look down, you notice that red light on the board. That means you got a defective board. It doesn't happen often, but it's kind of a cool feature so that you can rule out other issues with the cabinet, like the monitor or the power supply. So we're going to close this down, and you'll notice that this screen is up. And so from this screen, you've got A, B, and C. So if you needed to switch the board from coin operated to free play, if you want to increase the number of lives that you get per credit, from the screen you push the B button. You can clear high scores here if you want. Now you can start entering the dip switch settings. And so you'll notice that you can deactivate some of the games if you don't want them to show up. So if there's a game that you don't want shown as an option to choose, you can turn them off. I don't know why people would do that, but some people just want a machine that has one game on it. If you want that, you can turn off all 59 other games. Another thing you'll see here is 1 coin, 1 credit, 2 coins, 1 credit. So you can increase it all the way up to 4 coins per credit. Game demo sound. If you want, you can turn off the background music. You can switch it from coin operated to free play there. This board is actually compatible in the cocktail table where the screen flips if you choose 2 players, or you can get it in this stand up here. And if you get it in a stand up, you don't want it to flip, so you could just switch it from upright, from cocktail to upright. And so you can increase the number of lives that you get per credit. You can increase or decrease the difficulty level. But ultimately, if you just keep pressing B, you're going to run through all of the different games that are on the board. And then eventually you'll get to a point where you can adjust the volume. So the machine does have a volume control knob. This is just adjusting the volume on the board. What you're hearing right now is the background music that comes pre-programmed on the board, which some people don't like, so you can actually deactivate that if you want. And so here's the volume control knob. It's on the inside here. But this is called the I/O test. And so this is where you go to check whether or not the joystick works. Up, down, left, right, A, B, C. Oops. Up, down, left, right, A, B. 1 player start, 2 player start, and you do the same thing on the other side. Okay, that's how you do setup for the 60 game board. And if you want to do it for the 412 board, I don't even need to make a video for that. It's actually a lot easier. On the board itself, when you turn the machine on, let me see, I'm wearing a head-mounted camera, so I'm trying to make sure I can get the visual on this. When you turn the machine on, there's a little red button, a little black button on the side of the board. The menu screen, right when you turn the machine on with the 412 board, it'll say, right when you turn it on, it'll say setup or test menu. As soon as that flashes on the screen, you push that button and it'll enter the setup mode. And it's very similar to that once you get into it. It's very self-explanatory and intuitive. If you need guidance, I can walk you through it, but most people don't need help with that. When you plug in the 412 board, if you see a little mushroom character like a cartoon guy on the screen, you've waited too long to press the button. Turn it off, turn it back on, and start over again. But that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, let me know. All right, so if you plug in your board and you've got dip switch number 4 in the down position, that's how you play the games. Dip switch setting 4 up, it's to make changes. Down, it's to play. So we've turned it on now. When you turn the machine on, it's going to say system initializing. Up here, it'll count from 1 to 60. Takes about 30 seconds. Once that's up, it's going to load up a menu screen. And if you let it sit for a little while, it's going to automatically enter the first game on the game list, which happens to be Miss Pac-Man. Now, if you try to move the joystick on the menu screen and you notice it's not responding, this board actually comes in coin-operated mode. And so, to add credits, you can tap that a couple of times or you can drop some coins in. When you do that, it's going to allow you to move the joystick on the screen. And so, forgive the glare, I've got windows on my garage door. So when you're at this screen, I'm pushing the joystick, I notice, hey, it's not doing anything. Press the 1 player start button, and that'll open things up. Now you can see I've already set this on free play using the method shown earlier in the video. But if your board says insert coin, then you know it's on coin operated mode and you have to add a credit like I showed you. And so, like I said, if you just leave the game sit like this, after about 30 seconds or so, it'll just automatically start to cycle whatever game that the cursor is resting on. And you notice it says game 1 of 10 or page 1 of 10, 2 of 10, all the way up to 10 of 10 for a grand total of 60. If it enters into Galaga or any other game, to exit out of that, you press the 1 player start button. It'll go back to this menu. And don't be worried about the buttons. It's actually pretty easy. Just play around with it when you get it. You're not going to hurt anything. You'll kind of get the feel for it. But there's only a few different steps that you could possibly do. So just kind of play around with the buttons. But if you see a game that you're interested in, but you're not familiar with how to play it, press the A button. That'll show you a preview of that game. A button again to get out to the menu. And then ultimately, where the fun starts, press the 1 player start button if you want to play. Trying to find the angle here with no glare. So the only way to leave a game is to die as many times as you have lives. So there's no way to leave a game in the middle of play, unlike the 412 board where you could press and hold the start button and then a window pops up that'll say continue or exit. But back here at the menu screen, so I'm using the joystick and I notice nothing's responding. Again, press the one player start button to allow you to scroll through the games. And then press the one player start button if you would like to enter a game. Let's show you Miss Pac-Man since that seems to be everybody's favorite game. Try to find the optimal angle here without glare. If you have any questions, let us know.